Hello, hope you're all having a good day. Today is the day I'm going to get out my potatoes. They arrived a couple weeks ago, I guess, and I've just left them really in the box and time to get out. Now these potatoes of mine are all certified with the certification number as an Elite 1 seed potato. I have Irish cobbler, so 6 pounds of Irish cobbler, 6 pounds of russet Burbank, and 6 pounds of Norland. Sounds like a lot of potatoes, but we pull them even as small, lovely salad potatoes early on and just really whiz through them. So it's never seems to be as much in the end. I just need to make sure I have the space out there. Now my Irish cobbler are, well, they're known to be one of the best flavored potatoes, and they are. It's just a world of difference. Shocking, actually, because I just always, a potato's a potato and it absorbs flavors, but no, these are delicious. Then I always plant the red Norland, and they store beautifully for me. Both of these produce earlier, so they'll be the ones that come out of my garden first. And then I've got the classic russet Burbank McCain potato chips. It's one of the varieties they use, which produces a really nice, good-sized potato too, and a great baking potato. So, what I have to get at first, I've prepped a bed outside, basically just pulling all the weeds that was there, but only a small space, because, well, my back just can't handle a whole lot, so each year, I just do what I can. At least I may get through half of them, and then I can prep the other bed another day. So let's just take a look. I've thrown an old plastic tablecloth, you know, that you use for your picnic, on the table. So the first ones up are my Irish cobbler. There's a couple with some pretty long chits here. They're all chitted. I'm not that concerned if my potatoes are well chitted or not. I don't think the PEI potato growers, such as these, consider that when they're growing their mass amounts of potatoes. But when these arrive, it's the perfect timing for me to put them out, and they're lovely and chitted. Now, if I had any larger ones, these are a smaller variety, I may have some in the russet Burbank, and this is why I'm pouring them all over the table right now. Just to give me also sort of a count in my head. So, the smaller ones, as I say, I don't need to cut up, but here's a larger one. And I will get more out of this by slicing this in half. There are more, usually they say you want 3 chits on it. Well, that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 9, possibly 10 chits on there. So I will cut some of these up to give me more seed potatoes. All I have to do with those ones is leave them on this table for a full day or 2 days probably, because I have rain coming. And that's just so where you cut, you harden it over. It seals it. I'm going to try to get some out today because it's rained in the morning. It's going to rain in the afternoon. It is our rainy season, so I could have put these out 2 weeks ago, but it's just too rainy here. This one grew through the bag. Okay. There's some larger ones in the Norlands I see here, so I'll certainly chop some of those, cut them into 1 or even 2 extra pieces. I've got my knife in my here. And let's see the russet Burbank. So yes, if I put these out now, I'm so busy staring at my potatoes. If I put these out now in wet soil, I don't have to water because it's up the other end. I'm just saving myself a bit of time. If you're just in the early stages of your rainy spring season, hold off. You don't want them to potentially rot. But I'm okay for that. It's going to be dry in the near future. So yeah, it doesn't look like, oh, aren't they pretty? They're smaller, there's a larger one, but these are smaller because of the seed potatoes. I've gotten some huge honkers here from my New Orleans last year, and surprisingly from my Irish cobbler. So definitely be cutting this probably in 3, that one. Yeah, there's a few. So I'm going to try to keep them in each variety here before I go out. But the small ones that I won't be cutting, just sticking in the soil, those are the ones I'm going to throw in a basket and plant today. So I've sorted some of the ones I'm going to cut in half. And I realized I need to put them back in the bag so I know what variety is what when I'm planting. And hopefully I'll increase the yield by cutting these in half. If your soil was dry, you probably don't need them to harden over a full day, but it's probably wise in case it does rain, just to make them that much more secure. So this crazy one, you know what? I'm going to put you in edges. Yeah. I'll try to also keep these in proper order. Variety. We had a funny year last year. The summers the past 2 years have been going through really hot periods, and we don't normally have to water our potatoes here in Newfoundland. You know, certainly growing potatoes here forever. 1, 2, 3, yeah. And actually, potatoes first came to Canada in the 1600s. But we had periods of dry heat, and then rain. And I always knew rain was coming in the forecast, and didn't water them because I don't normally have to. And I had, I think that's the reason, the, what do you call them, the hearts? The hollow hearts in the center of a lot of potatoes last year. So it's a bit disappointing because you have to cut those out. I forget what you call them. Anyway, I'll get on with these and bag up the ones I'm taking outside, and I'll see you outside when I'm starting to stick these in the ground. Well, oh boy, I can feel the rain. It's almost here. So I'm going to fly through this. And this is the part of the bed that I prepped and pulled all the weeds, which is mostly grass. And I will later make it nice and tidy around the edges. And the rest of the potatoes that are in the house and any left over here will be in this area, which I have not prepped yet. I'll get there. I've got my old grubby planting clothes on because when I plant potatoes, I get messy. So I just go about 6 inches down. Oh, disturbing lots of worms here. This bed I had prepped end of season last year with sheep manure. But it's been in use for many years, 6 years at least, if not 7. So it's nice and deep and just a good spot for the potatoes. Well, that's the first lot out. There's approximately 60 potatoes in here. And I only had about 6 left over from the chosen ones I had there. Lots more to go for the rest of this bed once I fix it up. Well, I raked over the bed so it's nice and tidy looking. And the rain has held off, so that's fantastic. I just wanted to show you this morning, it was almost 6 o'clock and I heard, it sounded like a crow that was in trouble. It was an awful noise. And I should have known better. It was a fox. But it was one I'd never seen before, and apparently they're not that uncommon. It's called a cross fox. It's gorgeous. It was how do I describe it? A bright but deep, bright, gorgeous orange. A nice dark orange. But very shocking. And black. I'd never seen a, really orange and black fox before. And he just trotted up the driveway, went in my garden over there, so I thought, oh, I better check, because the other day I had some bulbs dug up, which obviously looked like an animal, looked like a dog, and that's exactly what he did. So I found in my onion bed here, I don't know why, obviously there are field mice everywhere here, so I don't know why they go in the garden, but I'll show you what he did to my onions. It's a little hard to tell because it's all blacked out, but he dug a nice little pit, just like a dog does, and dug up several of my onions. Silly fox. Well, that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.